Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Tarot Time. Happy Friday. We have made it. Like anything was going to stop us. Yesterday I did a reading. I'll tag it in this reading here so you can, if you haven't checked it out, because a lot of people are saying that I don't fall on their For You page anymore, which is kind of crazy because if you follow me, you should be looking under the following tab. And if you look for my readings on a daily basis, you should have me on speed dial in TikTok or wherever else you're following me. So I did a reading yesterday, and normally a good friend of mine, we're in constant contact, my bestie, she reaches out and gives me a little thing about the reading. Oh, that was a good reading, this, that, the other thing. So she had said, oh, and she gave me this whole thing about the reading. And I go, what reading was that? And I'm thinking, she obviously didn't watch the current one. She had to go back a few, which could happen, And she goes, no, the one you just did. And I go, where did I ever say what you're saying? And she said, well, the Hierophant's all about receiving offers and stuff. No, it's not. And and no shade on her or anybody else, because everybody I do a reading and everybody walks away with a different version, which is fine. You hear what you want to hear. But that's just a good example of how in our minds we have a blueprint already there. We have a blueprint of how things have to transpire to get to point A to B. Okay. We have a blueprint of what needs to happen for us to be successful in a love relationship, healthy, whatever the case it is. Everybody has their own goals, but that's pretty interesting. I felt through the years, because I was definitely like that. I'm a Virgo moon, and let me tell you something, my Virgo moon held me back because I always said, nope, I was very rigid. Nope, the only way you could do this is this way, and this way. And the universe has showed me through the years that that is not really proper thinking. Expect anything and everything. Now, I don't mean don't plan. You still need to plan somewhat. You still need to be, I feel, you know what I'm saying? I still like things planned a little bit. I'm not as rigid as I once was, because I realize that a lot of times things are just going to happen as they're going to happen. But I try to get rid of the scenario in my head of what I believe is the only way to achieve what I want. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So it's funny. Sometimes I label my readings. Yesterday I labeled my reading. Some days I don't. But if you feel like it, I would appreciate it. And I think it would be really fun. I'm going to do a reading today. I don't know what it's about. I'm just going to shuffle and draw the cards. I'm not going to label it, but I'll know in my mind. We'll all know. And then I want you to put in the comments, play along. I want you to put in the comments of what you think the reading is trying to tell you. Okay? What message you walk away from. So, okay. All right. I still have my Barbara Moore deck. I'm using that one. I got to go down into my archives and pull up some other ones, like my light seers I haven't used in a while. Try to be I try to use a few of them. Okay. Still sitting in my unpainted kitchen. How's the paint job? Next week. And it's my ex. It's my ex, James. So James and I were together about 7 years, and we lived together. James is from Nashville, and we've always stayed friends, even though we knew we just couldn't live together anymore. And he's a great guy. He really is. He's a great guy. And handsome. Let me tell you something, with the beard and those green eyes, handsome. And the Southern accent, and he still calls me Sweetie Bug. But we couldn't live together, And, unfortunately, towards the end of the relationship, because of the differences we had, it was taking a toll on the friendship we could have salvaged, if that makes sense. Okay. So anyway, we've been broken up 10 years, but we're still friends. He lives like one town over. He owns a painting company, and he lives one town over. And I've even like had him as a +1 at a wedding and different things. You know, like I said, he's really a good guy. He just wasn't a match for me. But anyway, his company is doing my painting for me, so I can only push so much. All right, let's see what we have. Yep, still calls me Sweetie Bug to this day. Oh, the stories I could tell you about him and I, a hot tub, let me tell you, crazy town. That was a long time ago. All right, another story, another day. Okay, 7 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Are you learning patience? Are you learning? This is long-term investment, okay? Don't forget, this person went to bed one night and they had 1 pentacle. And when they woke up the next morning, they had 7. And they're ready to pick them. They're, you know, it's like you buy a stock and say within a week or so it doubles or something. And then you're like, damn, I'm going to just cash this in, because the greed in us takes over. Okay. Not the patience, the greed. And we're like, we cash it in. Okay. Only to find out in 2 more weeks, it doubled again. So when we get this card, it tells us about patience, you know, like me not getting painted. It talks about patience. It says to be mindful of what's going on around you, because you are going to see things double, triple, and things you never thought were possible. You're going to see them develop. Almost like what we were talking about, or I was talking about at the beginning, where we get a scenario in our head and we assume that the only way for it to happen, A, B, or C has to happen, where none of those things have to happen. So let's not be so rigid in our plan, but let's have some patience, okay? Let's not be jumping guns, because that's what the 7 of Pentacles talks about, jumping guns, you know, like this guy wants to go cash in those pentacles, and a thunderous voice is like, well, if you wait, you're going to have more. So I feel for a lot of you, you are in a situation that you either want to be reactive to, you know, whatever it is. I could sit here all day and make scenarios, but you want to be reactive to, you want to, sometimes we just want to handle something just to get it off our plate. You don't want to do that in this one. You don't want to send that text. You don't want to make that phone call. You don't want to send that email. You want to sit and you want to have some patience, okay? Ooh. Speaking of sitting, whoops, there she is. Our Queen of Cups, we like her. She's sitting there, but you know what? We want you to have a little bit of grace, okay? So for whatever situation you're in that you feel needs to be taken care of, okay? You have to have some grace with it, or the person. The Queen of Cups tells us that, you know what? It's okay to be a little bit kinder, a little bit softer. That doesn't make you weak. It really doesn't. Actually, it makes you strong, because when situations arise and we have to hold ourselves back, that's the true strength, okay? Being reactive and picking at those pentacles, that's not strength. That's more or less weakness. We just give in to what we have. It's like that Amazon cart. I'm on a new kick now. I'm just going to let it sit there for a couple of days. If I want it, I go back. If I don't, I get rid of it. So we have to start taking some time. Not everything has to be done within mere minutes. Like I tell people when they come to see me for a reading, unless your butt's on fire, do nothing. It's okay. It's okay to take a breath. It's okay to pause. It's okay to show kindness or grace when somebody needs it. And that includes yourself too. You are just as important. So sometimes you need to step away from a situation, take a deep breath, and show yourself some kindness and grace. All right, everyone. Put it in the comments what you feel this reading was about. It should be interesting to see. This is Friday. It's coffee and tarot time. I am the Queen of Wands. Everyone, have a great day.